What is going on? Hello and welcome to another episode. We have some beautiful rain sounds coming in this morning. Going so well with the soundtrack and the vibes of this series. We are plugging along and we are working on this little section over here today. So like I said, we're going to be doing a little bit longer videos and only be posting once a week for the foreseeable future. I've got some other things going on, life in general, but also got some other projects which include 2 podcasts and my full-time job. So I've got a good amount going on right now, and not to say this is the lowest priority, but it is still playing video games. So I am not. I'm not playing this game sort of just to make these videos. I'm playing it because I like playing this game. And since it is something that I do in my free time, that is why, So if, if you want to leave a comment and tell me how much that's a bad decision, let me know. But as of now, I am going to be releasing once a week. So I'm going to try to make the building a little bit more I don't want to say interactive, but just like a better building video that you guys can get into. So we got a lot of building going on in this. I worked very fast in this episode. I worked super quickly. So what we got going on here is we are building the other station for the cable car. I know I said I might do it off camera, but I decided to record it. And that is what we are doing. We are adding some of the supports for the roof. Sometimes when I build a station or a building, I forget to kind of make it into one building. So that is just me being me. I wish I put it all in the same things, like the same group, so I could move it all over, but it wasn't too difficult to move it over because there's like 3 main sections that I was able to grab, which is nice. I did get a request to put this in the workshop, and the only reason I haven't yet is because of that reason. Everything is on its own sort of thing, so I would have to take the time to separate everything and add together. So I will do that for that person who asked for it. I promise. I will not leave you hanging. So we got the roof on in one piece, which is cool. And now we're just going to go through and edit the wood a little bit to make sure we got no pokies coming through. We're also going to be going through and extending these pieces to reach the roof. So yeah, this section came out pretty cool. I added some blueprints. So if you're not a fan of me using blueprints, I've said it before, sue me in the chat. Not all of this park is custom buildings, but I think that is okay. I think there's a fine line between using all custom buildings and all blueprints. Yes, it is more impressive, but sometimes you have like almost like writer's block, but for building. Like, you don't know what kind of building you want to use, and you don't exactly have the vision in place while you go and do it, right? So that's kind of why I used some blueprints. But the blueprints that I do use, I try to at least make it, make it unique still. So I guess that's a good takeaway, is don't be afraid to use the blueprints that are in the game, especially this game, because they're a lot better than the stuff that came in the first game. So don't be afraid to use them. Don't think like you're lazy or anything. But make the effort to make it your own, and it'll come out good. Trust me. So we're just making sure the exits and entrances are in the archways. And we're going to do a quick little queue. This queue is giving me some problems, but I liked the look of this right here, but I think it's too short with the amount of people that are going to be in this park. I started this park as a tiny park, but it's kind of just evolved. I've enjoyed working on it. If this is your first video watching, this is a section of the park that I made specifically for this multiverse coaster over here. That's why we got the cable car coming in, because it's the only way to get over to this section of the park. So I'm gonna make it kind of like a destination point, putting in a hotel looking building, kind of not an actual hotel, but since we're doing jungle resort theme, I felt like it fit, because you'll take the cable car over to the resort. The resort pieces they put in here are pretty cool. The only thing I don't like about them is how they are one-sided, kind of like a facade. But this one that I found is a little bit less facade-y and more building. Like, there's a back, kind of. So I decided to use this one. And we're gonna switch some stuff up, maybe, now that I'm looking at it, like the colors, maybe. But we end up leaving that there, and we're gonna build around it. So you'll see me playing with a bunch of things. I thought that'd be a funny idea, like you're going through a thing, but in the end, kind of cheesy. So I'm just playing around with themes over here. So this is a staff path, if you didn't see me click on it. So nobody's going to be able to go down this path, but also there's no purpose for staff to go down this path, but I like using the staff path as just a scenery thing. So that you can have a path as part of the scenery, but no one's going to be walking down it. So now we are going to put some facilities in our building. We've got a latte love and a chief beef going classic on the food here. Coming from the first game, chief beef is legendary. So we went with it. Ooh, tasty is right. That's another thing I'm going to try to incorporate more is the game sounds. Even though I'm speeding up the footage, the sounds get a little messed up, as you just heard. But I like it, especially like with the rain. It adds a nice vibe to it. So I'm going to keep it. Here I want to put in a pool. So just kind of first trying at that. It's not bad, but I also don't want to mess with these rocks at all because they're kind of, as you'll find out, they're like placed perfectly with this first little drop I have in the coaster. As you can see, so I kind of just go back. I don't mess with that. And I decide to, one, put in oh, we do end up making it smaller, but I realized that we do not have a pool deck. So we start again. We delete this pool and add our deck first. And the deck, we use the draw tool, I believe. And the draw tool is good for these pathways. Just making a big slab, basically. It was uncurved, but we want straight. And I want the deck to kind of go into this rock, so we do that. And then we got our pool deck. I wanted to do custom, but it was kind of hard getting the right size pool in there, so I mess around with the pre-made pools. And I end up going with it. You'll see me try to fit another pool in there. The pool building, let's talk about it real quick. So, it's good. I do enjoy it. However, I really don't understand why the draw tool is so limited. It feels as if you can only make certain shapes. Can't really explain it that well right now. But as you can see me fool around with it, I just never get a shape I enjoy, and that's because I don't understand the settings of it, really. So I think it needs a little bit of work, the pool draw tool. It doesn't make much sense. I mean, if you're using the curved option, it doesn't make much sense. The straight one's fine, but the curved custom pools with the draw tool doesn't make much sense to me. So my only complaint about that right there, they should work that out a little bit more. Still, the pool additions are still very good. I think they did a good job. You can fill in a section like that with something really unique, so I enjoy it. I think since I put the resort, I had to put the little pool, so I put it in. And we've got some people eating around here, so just putting in some picnic tables for that by the pool. Next thing we got to add here is, I believe we go in for some scenery. And remember, this multiverse is all about the tiki heads, so I kind of tease that with the scenery that I put in. You'll see me mess around with this area a little bit. So we're just going through, and we finally find this beaut of a scenery piece. It's got our favorite tiki. Add a little road sign action. And then we do a little centerpiece for the entrance, well, what will be the entrance of the multiverse. Let's see. Yes, so we're going to make this a centerpiece. So what you'll notice here is, or you've probably noticed if you play this game, is the guest will walk right through your scenery that you put in the path. So the workaround I use is to delete with this stamp tool. You got to delete a portion of the path. So you can delete, like if it's a building, you can delete the path around the building. Or if it is this centerpiece, you can delete a little square out of it, and then what you'll see I'll do is I'll go back and I'll add fence around it. And here we're going to place this building for bathrooms and I believe changing rooms. Again, we're just going to put another path, another staff path for scenery purposes. And that is looking almost good. And now that's looking a little bit better, at least from a guest point of view. And we go ahead, we add our bathrooms and our changing room for the pool. Always got to put a bathroom in a changing room real close to that pool. And then we'll add a guest services for the pool passes, just in case they didn't get one yet. Here I'm thinking about if I could add the guest services to that building, but one thing I didn't realize for these is you need a path underneath it to work. So I end up scrapping that idea. That's a good piece. I do enjoy using those. I think I used some of those kind of in the last one. Or in the first section of the park. Oh, I'm just noticing now that that scenery has some mountain music. Or jungle music. That's cool. And here we're going to add our pathway. I leave a little bit of a little section right there just because I'm going to put some foliage, I guess you could say. We're going to come back to the coaster station. I don't know how we're going to do that yet. But what we're going to do here is add some scenery in the form of a scenery brush, of course. So we're going to do our classic where we go in and place a bunch of scenery and then go back and edit it all. No, not all of it, but sometimes you edit more than you'd think you would, but That's just because there might be a setting that I'm missing here, but what the scenery brush will do is change the sizes of each piece. So like you'll get a bunch of different pieces of grass like you see in here, where the bush, like one bush is ginormous and the other one is not. So it comes out a little bit too much in terms of the tropical plants, I think is the one I'm using. Other ones might be different because of what is in the brush. And you can make a custom brush. I like the what's in the game right now for the jungle one, so I've been using that. And we're also going to do some terrain painting, my favorite. It actually adds a lot when you do stuff like that. Not just have the grass bottom. It does really help. So here, I'm going to just add a little bit more scenery. And then we are going to add a fence for the staff so they can't escape. We don't want anybody escaping from here. And we're going to add some trees. Now we're going to take our fence over. I start to add it here, but I do not enjoy it. So we end up deleting it. We might put it back in with a smaller scale. But for now, we are just going to add it to back here so that our staff does not go into our coaster section, I guess you could say. We want to keep the coaster section free of all humans. And you'll see this is not the best, but we are in the back of a building that no guests are going to go to, so we leave it just like that. That is just for scenery real quick when people are flying by on the roller coaster, so it looks filled out. Here we are going to do the same thing. We want to keep all guests that are entering the pool out of our roller coaster. And then one more section of fence. And that's good, it just separates it very nicely. So we're going to come back to this section right here. I just fill it out just to see what it's going to look like with some plants in there. I think I'm going to put a planter in. I don't know yet. We're going to have to fill that section in, fill this section in, figure out where our entrance and exit are going to go. But the last part of this video, we're going to figure this part out. And how I do that is we're going to scale down this fence. And we're just going to make this a centerpiece. One thing I do love about the second Planet Coaster as opposed to the first one is doing stuff like this. This would have taken so long just to try to get something to look like this. just in terms of like you were able to do it, but you didn't have as much freedom and customization in what it looked like in the end. So getting these cutouts in the giant pathway plazas are really cool. I enjoyed that. I'm learning all the shortcuts too. The shortcuts are really nice, like the keyboard shortcuts. So that is fun when we're going real quick with those. You can see in this video my building is just getting really quick with the shortcuts and everything like that. So we are going to add some benches just to finish this part out. Once this is complete, next video we're going to be working on that station and queues over there, figuring out that, and then this section will be complete. This has been your host, Average Roller Coaster Enthusiast, with another one. Hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for everything. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.